What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about SERV Robotics, give you a quick overview of some of the data points, break it down on what really has been moving it, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SERV on Friday, despite the market selling off, went up 11.52%, $18.75 the high, $16.15 the low. So a lot of good momentum. At the same time, you are seeing okay-ish volume, so 14.92 million. So that does insinuate that it's on a lot of people's somewhat radar, but not on big money. And in my opinion, given the recent price action, it's definitely something to take note of. It's very impressive. As far as recent news though, not all that much from the company itself. They did on January the 7th announce a 80 million registered direct offering. So of course that's not good. That's what really killed the momentum early on. So it was starting to really push higher, and then because of that, it kind of got knocked down. But I think in general, more and more companies are taking advantage of kind of the hype, and because that amount of liquidity based on their actual earnings, if we kind of go over here, it's good. So they burn roughly around 5.5 million every single quarter from operations. So that amount of cash is going to give them a huge runway. So again, some people might hate on companies kind of diluting, but at the same time, it's their saving grace. This is going to be good for the next 3-4 years. So a little bit more pain in the short term. Long term, it should be a-okay. But honestly, when it comes down to SERV, people seem to have forgotten it like it was yesterday's news. So it caused a little bit more of a pullback for roughly 2 days, 2 consecutive trading days, and then it just starting to move higher. So I think in general, SERV has been always a very interesting stock. It's a AI play. It's a momentum stock at the same time. It is and was a squeeze stock. It never did squeeze, but shorts have been returning quite a lot. And I cover quite a lot of different stocks through various different YouTube channels, different sectors. And you didn't really see this play out where shorts legitimately just were returning. So I think maybe they just see a good credible company moving forward, even though they're not profitable or anything like that yet. But yeah, this is definitely something to take note of. So in September, short interest was 31.8. Right now we are sitting at 11.65%. Even on Friday, shorts did return 32,000 shares. So that's kind of a drop in the bucket considering 2.92 million shares overall are being shorted. So there is still a lot more room for shorts to continue. This upcoming week, it's a big one for the market because we have CPI. So CPI is coming out on Wednesday. And so this is going to be the first, I guess, inflation data point since Powell has really stated that maybe inflation might be going up to around 2.5 in 2025, higher than the Fed's original forecast. So all eyes are going to be on this data. And so if this does come better than anticipated, you're going to see a lot of spec stocks, a lot of momentum stocks, such as SERV, going up like crazy. So I think in general, this is a very exciting stock to be in, and maybe shorts are somewhat forecasting that as well. So that's why they're returning. So something to keep in mind. Through IBKR does indicate roughly around 450,000 shares is available to be shorted. So something to just keep in mind, because if, for instance, a stock does have limited shares, sometimes you might see some buying occurring from big players such as BlackRock, as they like to buy stock just to lend it out for kind of shorting purposes. Very profitable business for BlackRock and some other entities. So just to kind of monitor that. And it does happen. So it goes from roughly 90,000 to roughly around 400,000. And it happens as though that plays out because big money is buying it just to lend it out. But moving on from here, looking at options, there was 2.1 million in calls on Friday, 676,000 in puts. 53% of all the options being done were optimistic in nature. So not only did SERV really defy the market itself on Friday, but like I said, I cover a lot of different stocks. Majority of them all had bearish options on Friday. So this is something, once again, it's abnormal, and abnormal sometimes in the market is very good. A little bit lower on Friday though, so 2.7 million in total premiums day prior, so Thursday, or I guess Wednesday, because Thursday was closed. 3.3, 7.4, and then 11.4 million for that. So you can kind of see as well on the 7th, it went down 18.7% because of that issuance, and then the following day on the 8th, down 9.73. So Friday was a abnormal day. As far as options though, of the call options that were purchased on Friday, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $20 range for this upcoming week. Bears are anticipating for it to be kind of sub 15. So it is going to be a very volatile week, just like in among itself, the company. And then if you kind of throw in now CPI, you're going to have a lot of volatility. So if you are a fan of options, I think this week will be a good one for you. These are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So a good amount of buying. Of course, shorts returning, algorithmic trading, having that on your side as well is definitely a positive. And as far as this goes, with at $18.74, it is now trading between this R2 and this R1. So 17.28 is going to be the next strong support going into this upcoming week. Then flip side, 1969, 2358 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. I think it is a little bit too early to start talking on 23s just yet, but anything is possible. We've seen it go up very fast in the past. As you can kind of see, it just went up like within, was it 3 days, 4 days, went up from 14 or even 1350 to 23. So again, anything is possible. As far as this goes, if CPI does come in, let's say a little bit hotter than anticipated, just watch for that 50-day moving average. Luckily enough, in SoundHound's case, that's been the saving grace. So even though the market's been very volatile, that 50-day moving average has been that very strong support, that line in the sand for SERV. So in general, just kind of continue to watch for that. But in general, I think you are going to see a little bit higher highs, but at the same time, you're going to see a lot of volatility. So just be comfortable, 5% in either direction almost every single day. CPI day, so on Wednesday, that probably will be a good 10%er in either direction, once again, depending on what happens. So yeah, I think overall, this is going to be a very interesting stock. I do see a lot of people on social media, though, bringing up that earnings is going to propel this to 100. And I just wanted to, like, on my channel, I'm not here to burst any bubbles, pop anything, or kind of say anything that's FUD, but at the same time, a lot of innovative companies, such as even most recently Palantir is still struggling with Wall Street trying to accept what they do and to put a appropriate evaluation on what they do. Even though they make a lot of money, good growth, Wall Street still gives them sometimes a $30 price target, so like a 50% cut. So when it comes down to their upcoming earnings, like you have negative 13 cents for the earnings per share, 254,000 for the revenue. Once they unveil their numbers, estimated to be on February the 28th, analysts are going to tear this apart, and then from there they're going to look at the multiple and say, hey, SERV is just overvalued. So I think even if they do come in better than anticipated for their earnings, it still potentially could trend down, same as what happened with Palantir and many other stocks, such as even SoFi. So innovative companies, just initially Wall Street doesn't like them, just sees them as overvalued. But as time progresses, as long as the company continues to perform, this is where you will see them have higher highs, again, similar to what Palantir played out. So let me know your thoughts on SERV. Do you disagree with me on the earnings? Do you think it's going to propel it to the moon? Do you think that SERV right now is overvalued? And just generally, where do you see things going for this upcoming week? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers, so pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.